Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful co-stars, Veronique Arsenault and Judy Loge. Hello, ladies.
Well, welcome back, Audrey Stranger.
Thanks for having me back. Didn't disown me completely. I've been working
No.
lots and lots and lots trying to get all caught up with my clients and things like that. And because of scheduling, unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in the last few quite a few shows, I'm afraid, but I'm here today and I'm excited about our show today and being able to host and be with my besties again.
We're so happy to see your face. And I know the viewers missed you along with ourselves. So great to see the three of us together. Always a pleasure to be with Veronique and you.
Thanks so much. We're going to our viewers, again, thanks for tuning in. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to start off our show like we always do. And Judy's got a quote for us today, don't you, Judy?
Yes, because our guest that's coming on is going to be a musician. So I wanted it to be timely and in keeping with her music scene. So my quote is short and sweet. It's anonymous, but it is, with the right music, you forget everything or remember everything. And I picked it because it's so true for me. That's exactly how I feel. Sometimes I'll hear a song that takes me back to my childhood, like Crocodile Rock. And I think of the friends I was out at the time when I was like 12, 13 years old, bopping to that. And I think of my, just for example, my relationship with my husband. One of our songs was Missing You by John Waite. And yeah, and Islands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers. Like, it takes me back to our dating days. And then
Oh,
certain
wow.
songs, yeah, some songs make me really sad and I actually have to shut them off. It could be a song that was really popular when someone maybe passed away. And so every time I think of that song or hear it, I think of mourning and I have to shut it down, or a breakup with a boyfriend, or my sister's breakup with her boyfriend and what was playing at the time. It's either feeling really, really good and happy because of the memories, or feeling really sad because of what happened during the popularity of the song at that time.
Music is a powerful thing. I feel like for me it's something that I'm not one for, even in my house, for it to be totally quiet unless I'm outside in nature. So I always have to have the radio on or some music playing in the background. But yeah, as far as your mood, whether it brings you up or brings you down or brings you to a better place and it's peaceful, music is powerful, there's no denying it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? For me, music will either make me feel like I can conquer the world, or I've cried at great pieces of music. I've laughed at great pieces of music. And sometimes it does make you sad. And you're right, Judy. I always associate, just like you do, songs to times in my life. And I will also admit to purchasing vehicles based on what the stereo system is like. Because
Oh, wow.
I need a booming, you know, beat the heck out of the steering wheel drums, kind of sound system when I'm driving. I People often say, "Oh, do you want to drive alone? You must not like driving alone." I'm like, actually, I absolutely adore it because I can sing at the top of my lungs and just listen to the same song over and over again. So I have actually not bought certain vehicles because of the sound of the sound system, and have bought other vehicles because of how the sound system sounded. So music for me is just it touches my soul, and I don't mean that in a cheesy way. It honestly will bring out emotions from my heart.
Well, I'm
Okay,
actually lucky
so
that I'm still single because I air dry. I do the dry guitar, and sometimes I do it in my underwear. So I lock my family out and just belt it out, and I sing my guts out. And the dogs think I'm nuts because I am nuts. But I love listening to my music at a huge volume when there's nobody home and the blinds are closed.
Yeah, so we'll just correct one piece there, because you said you're lucky you're still single. You are still, in fact, married to Gerard.
No, but I should say that I'm lucky I'm still married then and not single. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
just
there you
let's
go.
just clarify that for my husband who might see this show.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
there
I'm
might
like,
be
Very fair.
something he doesn't know about.
Yeah, I don't think she's announcing this on the air.
I know.
Thanks for the reminder that I'm still married, Veronique, with 2 kids and 2 dogs. That's
That's
yeah,
right.
that's a great thought. Yeah, yeah.
So what here's a question to you girls. What genre of music do you lean towards? Like for me it's many, but for me you guys all know me well enough now over the years that country's at the top of my list for sure. Especially the new country. I absolutely love it, but I can go back to old country as well quite easily. And then of
Mhm.
course I like my my pop music and J Lo and Rihanna and things like that too. But now what are your
Mhm.
favorites?
I actually like the 70s and 80s music. I absolutely love November Rain by Guns N' Roses. I could listen to it all day long.
Mm,
And I don't know what it is about the song. It's an incredible video too, because Axl Rose was actually getting married. Well, he did marry
yeah.
the supermodel Stephanie Seymour. The video is kind of crazy, but I love his voice. And
Mm,
I do love the old song Dance by Garth Brooks, The Dance. I think it's just beautiful. So that's a country song. And on a rock note, I
yeah.
absolutely love AC/DC. You Shook Me All Night Long or Money Talks. I like everything. I like
Yeah.
Elvis Presley, I like Taylor Swift. I like it. I really love it all. And Total Eclipse of the Heart was one of my favorite songs by Bonnie Tyler.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many. I love Air Supply, Making Love Out of Nothing at All, and
Yes.
the other one was by Heart. All I want to do is make love to you, because it's the story she tells. It's her. She's got an incredible voice
Yeah.
anyway, but it's the story of picking up the young guy in the rain and just what transpired after that. It's got feeling. She's got a voice, and I love what she has to say. It's not just music; it's a story.
That one. Yeah. Veronique?
Yeah, and it's funny. For me, it's different times in my life have been different genres. So there was, I used to date this guy, and he was really into hip hop music, and so I went through a phase where I was too. I dated another guy who was into really heavy metal. That kind of didn't translate. I didn't love that, to be honest. Like he was into like Slipknot and stuff, and I get it if you like it, but it just wasn't my thing. I'm much like Judy though. Most of my stuff comes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, that kind of stuff. But, I love back to the 50s and that sock hop kind of music as well.
Yes,
That I grew up with
yes,
that. That was my parents loved that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But if I'm
yeah.
looking at like my favorite songs, ABBA, but Super Trooper by ABBA is probably like the
Oh,
number
wow.
one for me. Love it. Absolutely
Really?
love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
Okay.
my God. Yes. Yeah. I could bop to that all night long. And then if I go, country, I do love new country. I have a lot of new country.
Mhm.
If I go back a little bit in country, of course, Garth Brooks was my big
Yeah,
love,
yeah.
and Standing Outside the Fire was one of my favorite
Mhm.
songs of his, and I love the video for it. And then a couple of summers ago, I had always really liked Journey, but I like their stuff, right? But I wasn't like a
Yeah.
huge fan. But a couple of summers ago, I got to see Journey live. Oh my goodness, they were absolutely outstanding. And of course, don't stop believing really a song that you can't do without.
Don't you
Yes.
think, like, don't you find Ed Sheeran is phenomenal? That song Perfect has to be one of the most beautiful songs I've ever
Yeah.
heard, actually.
I
It
think
is
it's one of the most
beautiful.
played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
and you
saw
know
him
what?
in concert.
I love most of his stuff, to be honest. But like when it comes out,
Me too.
like there's very few songs that I can think of that he's put out that I haven't really liked. Yeah, and you're right. So
Yeah,
I really enjoy Ed Sheeran.
me too. And I
Here's a
saw him
couple
twice in
of
concert. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
here's a couple of old names that you didn't mention, Judy. Rod Stewart,
Oh, he's
Oh
just
yes, he's
downright
Tina
amazing.
Turner.
awesome. He's everything he
Yeah,
sings, I love. I love his raspy voice.
yeah,
I just absolutely. I saw
Ah,
him in concert twice too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love Rod
Me too.
Stewart.
yeah.
Me too.
Tina Turner.
Love her. I
Amazing in
think
Tina
one of my
concert.
Turner was
top.
huge
Yeah,
for me
yeah.
as a
You better be
teenager.
good to
Amazing.
me. You better be good to
Yeah.
me. And Simply the
And
Best.
yes. Another one I remember is Olivia Newton-John. I listened to a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
her back when I was a teenager too. Yeah. But my
Hopelessly
favorite song right
devoted.
here, yes, my favorite song right here right now that I keep going back to, that's for inspiration whether I'm at the gym or I just want to feel good, or I'm having a bad day and I need a pick me up, is Carrie Underwood's Champion. And the video to it, you've got the video to that one, and it's such an inspiration to whether you're hurt, whether you're sick, whether you have a disability, you really have to watch the video and listen to the words to Carrie Underwood's Champion. It is powerful. It'll bring your day around anytime.
I don't know. I think I'd have to have a couple of really stiff drinks to start to like country music. I just cannot get into it. I will never wear cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
In it.
I know, but
there's
still,
a rapper in that one, but it's good.
No, I can't do country.
There's nothing
I can't.
country about that one. There's nothing country about that one. You'll have to listen to it. I'll have to send it to you. I'll tag you.
I will
in it.
for you. I will for you. And going back, girls, do you still like the Bee Gees? Do you like the Bee Gees at all?
Yes.
Oh my
that
land,
song
yes.
won. Yeah, that song won by the Bee Gees. I absolutely adore.
I'll have to clue in and remember that one. So what else
you
is
guys
all
have
going
any
on in your lives?
Well, I just wanted to know, first of all, if you have any celebrity singing crushes. Do you have anyone that you crush on in the singing world, who you would like to sit there and just look at while they're singing? Who is it?
Well, I saw Bon Jovi live.
That's my man. That's my other man.
Well, that's just it. I'm like, you have a really, really good husband when he picks you up and puts you on his shoulders so you can get closer to another man.
I would like to be sitting on Bon Jovi's knee while he sang. Lay me down in a bed of roses. It could even be a bed of nails if he sang it, because I would just be listening to him or looking at him anyway. He could lay me down on a bed of snakes, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Blake Shelton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Veronique?
Well, since Jason Momoa doesn't sing, I guess I would have to, really, Jason Momoa is just pretty much it for me, no matter whether he could sing and not be in tune, and I'd be okay with it. Just saying. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know what? I think probably, like, as you said, Judy, I mean, John Bon Jovi is just hot. Like, he's
beautiful.
Lovely. He's just lovely. And
when he smiles.
Yeah. And I think everything I've ever read about him is equally lovely. And I think that probably makes him even lovelier. Like he's just generous and wonderful and kind and all of those things. So I think that and he married his high school sweetheart, and, it just makes him, I think, even more attractive. But, I'm sure if I probably thought about it, I could probably come up with somebody that was, really hot, because there's lots of them. But, Jason Momoa.
I think that if we ask John Bon Jovi on the show, he might come. If I give him a really nice, call and make it very special, he might come on and sing to us and have a chat. But it might not happen either.
Yeah. No, give him Judy. You give him a shout out.
I will.
Definitely would love to have some big names on there. Other things that are going on right here, right now, we'll touch on the pandemic right at the moment here for us in New Brunswick and in Canada. We're coming on to like the end of the summer. And I don't even want to say it, but there's 5-6 weeks left, and school is just around the corner. And even though you ladies don't have kids and are heading back to school or anything like that soon, it's a bit of a sore spot here, or a reason for anxiety here in my house. I have one who is supposed to go off to college and one back to high school, and I'm not going to lie, they're pretty anxious about and stressed about how it's going to look, whether they can bus our kids to school there back, if they've got to find their own way. How the classroom setting is going to go. We're hearing at the moment, 2 days of school 1 week, physically in the school, 3 the next. But on the days that they're not there, they are to be logged in on their computer. Whether or not the classes are going to be live streamed like we're doing right here now, which I think would be a benefit. It's just, I can't, personally, what I'd like them to do is, and I don't know if this would be possible, is to do a survey with the parents, with the adults, not just the children, because they did phone the kids, to get the thoughts and ideas of what we think would work, and then
Yep.
compile all of that together.
Hmm.
Because um, I imagine me having to change my work schedule, and I'm lucky enough I can. I worry about the moms and the parents who, can't do that. They don't have the internet. They don't have good internet. Um, this computer, the government is giving money and vouchers to, be able for these children to have laptops. Why not just you buy the laptops, hand them all out so everybody has the same one, everybody has the same program on it, so that there's no, this person has one that's better than yours, so the internet's better. I don't know. I just can't. I myself get stressed even thinking about it.
I just really feel that students need the human connection. There's nothing like a
Mm,
person in body to actually talk to. I mean, you can talk to computers all day long and Skype and
mm,
everything, but if you have a personal question that you want to ask that and get guidance on an answer,
yeah,
and I worry about the children with autism. I have neighbors and friends that have children
yeah,
with autism, and they need that
right,
connection to an actual
yeah,
teacher. Veronique, final
yeah,
thoughts, I guess.
Well, you know what? I think it's going to be horrifyingly difficult for our teachers, to implement all of the things that are necessary. And my heart goes out to them. And to be honest, I know it's going to be
yeah,
exceptionally difficult for the parents and for the kids themselves. I think there's
yeah.
a no-win situation here, and we're expecting a lot out of our teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My one little idea before we head to break, and is that I think they should move the teachers around and leave the kids in the classroom, so you don't have hundreds of kids going from class to class. Let's just have the 20 or 30 teachers moving, and then that would cut down on the mulling around and the socialization there. But anyway, to our
That's what they're
viewers,
doing.
don't.
Yeah, yeah. They're doing that in the
Yeah.
middle
So
school. Yeah.
yes, but not in high school. But
No.
anyway, we don't want you to go away. We don't want you to miss this great show that we're about to have. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. Don't go away. Okay, welcome back to Have a Chat. Joining us now is our lovely guest, Aiden Ingersoll, who's a local musician here in Miramichi. Hello, Aiden.
Hi.
Hi,
Thanks for
Aiden.
joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, First of all, we're going to start off with asking you a little bit, telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Aiden Ingersoll. I'm a local musician, and I'm 15. I'm gonna be 16 soon, so I'm going into grade 11. I go to Carrefour Beausoleil, our French school here in Miramichi, and yeah, the past few years I've really started to start doing shows around the area and release some music, and yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Oh, Aiden. So again, we're so happy to have you with us this afternoon. So tell us about your beginning of your music start, whether it was just taking piano lessons or voice lessons, or maybe you were a toddler and just like to break out into song. Take us back to when you first began this musical journey.
Yeah, you kind of summed it up well there. I've always been kind of musical and always liked singing and dancing. I did dance as a kid too, always like rhythmic and musical. And around 8 years old, when I was around eight, I got a piano and started doing piano and voice lessons. And with the teacher, the lovely music teacher that I had, I started with a more classical approach and classical style of playing piano and voice too, and musical theater, things like that. And after a few years, I really happy that I did that kind of background to begin, but it really wasn't what I was looking for. And so I continued on with a more like creative writing and composing kind of view on music. And so more for creating my own songs and accompanying myself.
Well, there now. So that's an
Yeah.
interesting background you have.
Yeah. I also
That's
continued. Oh, sorry.
No, keep going.
I continued and did some guitar too along the way. So I like to play some guitar here and there, and I bring back the piano once in a while too.
Nice.
That's amazing. You know, it's funny because of course I have no musical talent whatsoever. So I am so jealous of anyone who can carry a
Yeah.
tune or write a song or play an instrument. And although I do love to sing, I should never ever sing. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the CBC Searchlight contest and how that all played out for you and how you did.
Okay. Yeah. So I had seen there's another local musician, Emily Williamson, and so last year she had entered CBC Searchlight, and I had never even heard of it before. But it's an amazing competition that's been going on for quite a few years now, and it's a national competition for any emerging artists, and it's all original music. So you hear some amazing new, fresh songs. So I decided back in January to enter, and I recorded my song and submitted it. And out of 1,200 submissions, I made it to the top 100. There was a people's choice kind of vote and a
Wow.
judge's vote kind of thing. Yeah, it was really
Yay.
neat.
I
So I made
voted
it to
for
the
you.
top
Yeah.
100. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and we all voted. We all voted for you because it's amazing. And your
Thank you so
song,
much.
and your
Yes.
song
Now,
is
was
so
that
beautiful.
was that you had to write your own song? That's not where you can sing another artist. You sing
No,
you have to
it's
do your
all
own
original
music and your
music.
own. Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
amazing.
original, whether you're
Absolutely
a
amazing.
band or just a solo artist. It all has to be original stuff. And so I recorded it with a local man, Jim McDonald. He has a little studio in his house.
Yes.
So I went down and I recorded it, and it was lovely. And so then I got to submit that, and yeah, it was a really neat experience, and just to discover all the other artists that had entered, because it's all genres, all backgrounds, all walks of life. Like it was really neat.
Wow. And the song was
Awesome.
called A Lie, right? It was called A Lie.
Yes, a lie. It's about kind of feeling lost in today's world, which is can be interpreted. I like to leave my songs up for interpretation a little bit too. So you can see it kind of there's
Mhm.
looking at like social media and how we don't always know what's real and what's fake, or even balancing different aspects of life and different views on stuff. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Serenity is all I'm craving, impossible to find, but I keep trying, crying. June is eating me alive, Gemini skies. Oh, I'm not present, but I'm fine. Whoa. The crowd is making me feel lonely, silencing the truth. All the words diluted, muted. Another tissue, another tear, swallowed by fear. Try to understand, but it's not clear. Whoa. The higher up, the more I'm low. Starry-eyed glow. Try to stay hidden, tiptoe. silhouettes in the distance, Polaroid existence. Try to decipher the longing, persistence. Whoa. What if all this time they've been feeding us a lie? What if after all we could still rebuild what they've killed? Serenity is all I'm feeling, impossible to hide. So I keep forgiving, living. And what if all this time they've been feeding us a lie? Whoa.
Oh, I love that,
That was
Aiden.
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank
Absolutely
you so
beautiful.
much.
Yeah. I felt like I was kind of in a relaxing mode, like you just took me away. And the words, you're a great writer, and you must have a very good creative mind, because the words were deep, and yet they had a lot of meaning for everybody out there. So it was a great message, and
Yes.
your song and voice is beautiful. I love your
Oh,
voice.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you
Yeah.
have any family members that are musical? Does this come from a background of musicians all along?
Actually, my parents never really played any instruments or anything. Grandparents either. I'm not really sure
Oh,
where it
wow.
came from. I'm told we just kind of found out recently that one of my like great uncles, he was in a band when he was a kid, kind of thing, and he plays from ear, so he has kind of like a perfect pitch thing, and
Oh,
I
wow.
have
Okay.
perfect pitch as well. So maybe there's some kind of relation there, but I'm really not sure. I'd never even knew of anyone in the family who played anything for quite some
Mm.
time. Like close family, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's a true
Aiden,
gift then.
so
Mm.
where do you get your inspiration from, Aiden? Are you just taking a walk one day and you see something that sort of sets you off for a great thought process regarding your music, or do you have to sit and try to hum away and then find words to go with your guitar music? How do you inspire it?
So I find lately with COVID, I don't know, not much has been going on. Well, now things are starting to pick up again. But I was definitely in a rut for a little while. But I find usually I find like inspiration from any everyday situations, something that maybe like ticked me off or that I was sad about, or something even like positive too. Not always has to be down in the dumps and everything, but yeah, just like everyday situations or emotions. And I usually find myself starting with the lyrics. I find I really like meaningful lyrics, and I want the message to come across clearly. Just like you said, Judy, leave it up for interpretation. Everyone can find meaning in it. But yeah, keeping the words powerful. So I usually start with my lyrics. I find lately I'm starting a little bit more with the music side of things. I've been trying to deepen my, I don't know, my experience with like starting with the music and trying to diversify the kind of melody of the song, because nowadays we hear a lot of like mainstream pop or country songs that have a lot of the same rhythm and the same um, kind of chords in it. So yeah, I try and diversify that, and I kind of just either record my audio and listen back to what I've sang and played, and then work off of that, or I just write as I go. And I do mostly everything electronically. I write it all down like my notes, and I record it all in my voice memos, and then that way I always have it with me if inspiration strikes.
Yeah. Wow. You got it all together there, young lady.
Thanks.
So
So what were
when you sat
the no, go ahead, Bear. Go ahead, Vero.
when you when you sat down to write this one in particular that you submitted to Searchlight, where did you get? I know that you want everyone to kind of put their own meaning into it, but where did you get your inspiration for that one?
I guess it was around Christmas time, so it was Christmas break, and I was around my mostly my family. I wasn't really seeing my friends much or going to school. So it was kind of adjusting to a little bit of like loneliness on that side of things, I guess, and then adjusting to just I don't know, like a more laid back style. So, and it kind of plays into how COVID is affecting us too, is trying to slow down and to relax and stuff. So it kind of came from that.
Mm,
Great.
nice.
And definitely social media too. Like seeing what everyone is posting and stuff, and maybe I don't know, stuff about Christmas. You see people going on trips and going here and getting this, and sometimes it's just kind of like a FOMO, like fear of missing out a little bit too. Like, dang it, I wish I was down south, or I wish I was with them right now, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
You were you were saying a little bit about how right here, right now, we're all noticing because of the COVID and the restrictions. Entertainers mostly for sure are feeling the big hit, not being able to,
Really?
perform in live concerts or things like that. So what will that mean for you? Because I know I've actually met or I've seen you at an event not too long ago within this past
Yes.
year before everything had shut down. And you did an amazing job at that event. It was wonderful. But now
Thank
the
you.
struggle to get back into the swing of things, what is that going to look like for you as an entertainer?
Yeah, that event that you were just speaking about, that was the last event that I got to play. It was in March, so we were
Hmm.
approaching the kind of quarantine lifestyle, I guess, and trying to stay like social distancing and stuff. So that was the last gig that I really played, and I had a few lined up, so everything kind of got canceled. But I've already been approached for in November. That's the next that's my next milestone. I guess I have a competition going on right now, a French one. And so that's
Oh,
coming up in
okay.
2 weeks' time. So that'll be my next thing. But that's been planned for a while. It was supposed to happen in May, and because of everything, got postponed. But yeah, the next thing to look forward to will be in November, unless anything else pops up. So it's kind of trying to get back to the swing of things and trying to create new content as well and build up the repertoire is not always easy when you're lacking inspiration or you're staying home. And now it's also trying to adjust. I'm starting to work again and get a little bit more of a schedule going. So it's different, but I'm trying to adjust well, and I think I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're doing
Well, we're going to be
amazing.
taking Yeah, we're going to be taking a short break shortly, but and we'll come back and we'll talk to you about your future and how you're going to bring that all around, and maybe the upcoming contest as well.
Yes.
I'll put this little bug in your ear about a lot of entertainers I'm noticing are going via virtual to do
Yes.
shows that way as well, and whether or not that would be profitable for you, and maybe what your next steps are as far as producing even more music and maybe
Mm.
even a CD. I think that might be
Oh, that would
definitely
be so
something
cool.
that would be something. Definitely, I don't know if anybody will be watching this show or seeing it, but hopefully it will get out there and we can send positive vibes for you to be, recognized worldwide through, social media. And I think that's
Thank you.
definitely something that's amazing and possible. But Veronique, did you want to add anything, or Judy, before we go to break?
Well, no, just that I'm so proud of you, Aiden, one of our very own talents that's making waves out there. And love your family, love you all, and your mom and dad and sisters. So they should be very, very proud of you too, as they are.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we'll be
Yeah.
back right after the break. Don't go away. And we're back with more Have a Chat and our lovely guest, Aiden Ingersoll, who just played a lovely song for us, an original that she had played and submitted for the CBC Searchlight Canada contest, that she actually made it to the top 100. If you missed it, you're going to want to play this or definitely catch it on our Facebook page to tune in, because it was absolutely fantastic. Again, thank you, Aiden, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm delighted to
Judy,
have
you
you.
have a question.
Well, yeah, I'm just, I've been watching Aiden grow up and, just emerge yourself into the community as a young and happening young woman. But I just was listening to your voice thinking how beautiful it is, and it's unique. You hear a lot of singers that sort of sound just like the other. Particularly lately, I find the genre, the hip hop and things like that. It's like the same type of music, same beat. Do you have any person that you look up to as in a song or like an artist that you kind of emulate or try to sound like, or that inspired you?
Yeah, it's a loaded question, definitely, because I'm someone who bounces from genre to genre and artist to artist quite frequently. I'm someone who looks for like strong creative direction from an artist, because music is more than auditory. There's a lot of aspects to it, and so I find there's a few different artists lately that I've been listening to. I find there's a lot of meaning in their lyrics, and they have a strong idea of what they want for their music. And I listen to like less mainstream, like pop and country, like kind of like you mentioned. We see a lot of the same beat, a lot of the same songs almost, and a lot of the same artists. So I don't know. Melanie Martinez is one that I look up to a lot. She's kind of an alternative pop, and I like it's hard to put her in a genre, which is kind of what I like. She has her own unique style, and she sticks to it. And her last album, she actually made into kind of a musical, a movie type thing. So when I was talking about how music is more than auditory, like that movie is incredible and really shows off her music very well. But even like there are more mainstream people like I don't know, different bands, Tame Impala, Harry Styles I've been listening to a lot.
Oh,
He's amazing. I love him.
and he's pretty cute, isn't he?
Yes. And then one of my favorite bands I always come back to is Greta Van Fleet, which is like a rock, and they emulate, like they're similar to Led Zeppelin, I guess. They kind of bring back a classic rock kind of vibe. But a lot of the people that I listen to, it's not really the style of music that I create. I'm more a singer songwriter. I keep things more like stripped and stuff, so I'm not very rock or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my musical influences, I guess I'm looking less at the genre of music and more at the lyrics. And yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
how I inspire.
Very nice.
So Aiden, talk to us a little bit about the experience and what it was like for you to actually record that song, like from start to finish. That the fact that you wrote it, but then actually go into a studio and put it out on the airwaves.
It was neat. I definitely was almost you hear sometimes the artists, they don't really want to hear their own music, and I kind of understand it now. And it's not like you cringe or anything. It's just it kind of gets hard on the head a little bit, because you're listening to the same song for hours on end, and it just after a while you just it's stuck in your head, and it's a little much. But it's really neat to hear it played, and just because I'm so used to singing it, but also just hear it played off of whatever phone or whatever, and it's really neat. And I had another chance to record a song with the French competition that I'm in, and so that one was it was a little different, because it was wonderful for a lie that I could just go to and to a local man's house and record it right there. It was accessible, and he was really nice. But with the French competition, it was like a real studio. It was out in like Memram Cook. There's a music studio down that way, and it was wonderful.
Nice. Very nice.
So when you're recording, just to elaborate a little bit more on Veronique's question, like you go so take us through it, walk us through it. So you go in this room,
Right.
you go in this one little room and you sing. You like how many times did you have to sing it over and over and over? Like you didn't just belt it out that first time and there, it's good. I'm
So,
assuming that's not how it goes.
not really.
Okay.
So for a lie, it was a little bit of a different approach than the French competition. So a lie was a little bit more laid back and simple. There were a few more tracks added to the French song. So a lie was just me and my guitar singing.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically when you record a song, it's to the beat. So you have to have a metronome like tick, 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 tick following you
Okay.
as you sing or as you
Yes.
play, because it's hard to record things over one another if you're playing a little offbeat there and a little offbeat here, and if you're not following a
Okay.
sequence. So
Mhm.
as you have to kind of know beforehand what kind of beat per minute your song follows. And so then I started with guitar when I did a lie, and I recorded the guitar a few times because sometimes you do stray away from the beat just by mistake. You've got it playing in your ears through headphones, and you're strumming, and sometimes you just kind of get in the zone or you kind of forget about it. So I had to record it probably 3 or 4 times, and they also layer the guitar so that it's a little louder. Um, so there was a few tracks for guitar. I think 2 guitar tracks in the end, and then I sang as well. So I sang probably a few times, probably 2 or 3 times just to get it right. And then you kind of, I also did a few harmonies on it too. So just to add more emphasis on different parts of the song and to make it more full and fill some of the little like spaces, I guess. And so
Mm.
afterwards, then you kind of go in and cut and paste a little bit. And oh, I didn't really hit the note there. And then you just go record that little snippet back and try and make it fit
Yeah.
in. Or I
Yes.
missed the beat a little bit with the guitar there. And then you try and fill it in.
Oh,
Oh,
it's just
easy
so
peasy
yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah, something we all do on a regular basis.
Yeah. That it's a lot of
Yeah.
work, I think, and that's the reason I asked that question, because I wanted people to realize that it is a lot of work. Just because you can sing or you can play an instrument, when it comes to recording, there's a lot more to it to get it.
Yes.
So
And mine
Aiden,
was a little simpler too. Mine was quite simple as well, just the guitar and the voice, and it still took 3 hours at least, I would say. And so there's some
wow.
people that are in the studio. I'm with the French song, I was in the studio all day, and sometimes it takes a lot longer than that even.
Aiden, do
Mm-hmm.
we have the pleasure? Can we have the pleasure of just hearing like a snippet of your song that you're going to enter in the French contest? I know you can't play the whole thing,
Yes,
but just a taste of it.
definitely. Yeah, I have that one. I actually is on an album. This is the album cover for that
Ooh.
one. And so
Oh.
it's a French competition through the high schools. So it's for any Francophone high school students in the province. And it's all original music, either solo or band categories. So I entered the solo competition, and I've made it to the finals that are August 1st. So I went through the submission and audition and then the semifinals to come to the finals. And we had the album launch, as I showed. So I got to record a song on the album, and it was a wonderful experience. They have wonderful workshops for all of the artists. And so the song that made it on the album is called Perdu l'innocence, so like lost innocence, I guess. And it's kind of just about transitioning from being a kid to now being a teenager, and just the different things that we expect from teenagers, and how there's a different kind of balance, and we're in like a whole new world almost. So yeah, here's Perdu l'innocence.
Petite fille, où es-tu passée? Perdue entre les lignes embrouillées. Ils me disent, garde ton esprit d'enfant, mais sois adulte en même temps. Mon cerveau malléable devient plus rigide. Tu ne me contrôles plus, c'est moi qui décide. Ils me disent, ne te stresse pas. Mais y a tellement de choses à faire que finalement je me noie. Si seulement je pouvais sortir de cette adolescence, peut-être que je n'aurais pas perdu l'innocence. Perdu l'innocence. Perdu l'innocence.
Oh, you know, Aiden, I need
Beautiful.
you in my, I need you in my home
Thank
to
you.
have that. You just bring the zen. You bring the zen. You bring the relaxation mode. I think I'm going to keep you in my upstairs room there when we all need to unwind. Your voice is calming and pretty.
Aw.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely
Love that.
something easy listening and soothing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to describe it.
Aiden, what does your future look like? Like, are you going to go pursue music after you graduate from Carrefour Beau Soleil, or do you want to have a career plus like an actual profession plus a music career? What are your thoughts at this point in time?
Well, I mean, I think I speak for most musicians when I say that you want to pursue it as a professional career, always. It's always the big dream or goal, and I've always felt that for forever. But it doesn't always feel realistic. It feels like a dream. It doesn't feel like reality. So it's kind of hard to know if it's going to pay off or not, because you're putting it in the people's hands. The people, like, will they like what I'm putting out? Will people listen to it? Will people come to shows? And so it's not always realistic. And so I've been interested in sound engineering, which is a different approach on entering the music industry and kind of working in the sound booth and working in a studio. And it's a little more of a concrete, realistic goal, because there's a lot of studios that could use people, and like there's a lot of songs that need producing, that need mastering, that need mixing. So that's definitely something that interests me. And I'm quite like interested in the sciences as well. So I don't know if I want to go the music approach or if I want to go more the science approach. So I kind of also look to do maybe a science degree in the future. And I mean, that opens a lot of doors. There's a lot of different ways you can go with the science degree. Go like the medical side, or like the bio, like there's just like a lot of ways and opportunities that come with that. So that also interests me as well.
You could sing about chemistry and physics, make up all kinds of songs about science.
Really? That would be funny.
I think you should roll it all together. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely in the future, I just want to keep, whether it's professionally or just as a passion, I want to keep writing music and building up my repertoire and doing gigs and just putting my stuff out there.
What advice, Aiden, would you have for the younger generation? My youngest daughter, who's always running around the house and singing and karaokeing, and I've given her her own microphone and her own amp, and with all the different apps that are on the internet now to help you to create music and to produce things. What advice would you have for her, or for anyone, you know, wanting to say, oh, I want to be just like Aiden, I want to follow in her footsteps?
Well, I mean, put yourself out there, really. If you're looking to do original music, you have to put yourself out there and you have to look for those opportunities. And sometimes the opportunities will come to you. I mean, I did a show back in February. I was the opening act. I was the opening act for David Miles. And so
Oh, wow.
that was through my school's community center. So there is wonderful programs out there, just like that one. The team at Café Communautaire Beau Soleil that approached me, that are looking for those local artists that are ready to perform. So definitely you can look for those opportunities, just like Searchlight. I mean, Top 100 was awesome. Not that I definitely got some exposure from it, but it's also just nice to have that out there, and there are different opportunities. So I guess it would just to create your music or whatever you want to do, and try and find those opportunities to sing and to play, and just even in restaurants or cafes, anything like that, everything helps.
A quick little question, just because we're almost totally out of time. Did you have to deal with, or what would your advice be on any of the negativity? Because you say put yourself out there, believe in yourself, and things like that. But there's always going to be that, because of social media and things. There's that little bit of negativity that goes along with that. How did you experience it, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, there's definitely negativity, and also even just taking criticism is not always easy, and it's you've got to try and take that gracefully. And also
Yes.
you can, with social media, there's comes a lot of doubt sometimes too, and seeing these people that are wonderful musicians and thinking, can I compare to them at all? But I find I've experienced it definitely, and I just try to put it out of my mind and to continue what I'm doing. And even just any criticism that I get, do take it into account, but don't let it take over. And so change accordingly, but keep true to yourself, and stay true to what you want to do.
Lovely advice, Aiden. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to
Thank
all our
you.
viewers for watching and hanging out with us today. Take care.